I'm on a whole new
Hey guys, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about the rocks in the rock cycle. I've entitled today's presentation as Rock the World, the story of the rock cycle. Now, as you're going through this presentation, be sure to complete your types of rock notes as you view it. I've created these slides and you'll just fill in the blanks as needed. So, let's start with what we're learning today. We're going to talk about what are rocks, and we're going to talk about the three types of rocks, which include igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks. Now, what are rocks? Well, rocks are classified by how they are formed, their composition, and texture. They're made of actually more than one mineral, or in some cases, one mineral. Rocks can change over time. This cycle of change relates to the rock cycle. Now, rock classification. The origin of rocks. How were rocks formed? Well, there are several ways that these rocks are formed. They include magma, erosion and layering, and heat and pressure, to name a few. Now, igneous rocks are formed from the cooling of magma or lava. Lava is magma that reaches the Earth's surface. Igneous rocks begin as magma. This magma can form when rock is heated, when pressure is released, and when rock changes composition. Magma itself freezes between 700 degrees Celsius and 1,250 degrees Celsius. So that's pretty hot. Magma is a mixture of many types of minerals. Sedimentary rocks. They are formed from other rocks that are broken into small little particle pieces and moved by erosion forces such as wind or water. Now, once these are moved and deposited, these particles are squeezed or cemented together almost like glue, and these rocks eventually form layers. So sedimentary rocks are known for their layers. Sedimentary rock is formed by this process called erosion. The sediments are moved from one place to another. The sediments are deposited in layers, with the older ones on the bottom and the newer ones on the top. These layers then become compacted and cemented together, forming several layers, which are called the sedimentary rock layers. Now, metamorphic rock is formed from other rocks. Rocks have been pushed deep into the Earth's crust. So these rocks are packed down into the crust, down into the Earth's crust. The pressure from the Earth above and heat from the mantle below cause them to change shape and color, grain and crystal structure, pushing and straining them and causing all kind of little line segments to indicate stretching in the rocks as they're pressed down. Now, metamorphic literally meaning to change shape. So in this case, the rocks are changed when changes with temperature and pressure, but the whole time the rock remains solid. This usually takes place deep down in the earth. Now, looking at the rock cycle as a whole, this cycle is completed by the three types of these rocks that I've described, which include igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary rock. As you can see by the arrows, there are several processes that occur to get from one rock to another. In many cases, some rocks can go from all directions or be formed from all directions. And so part of the rock cycle is understanding that these rocks, whether it be igneous, metamorphic, or sedimentary rock, are all able to complete a cycle to go from sedimentary rock to metamorphic and back to sedimentary if they want to, and so on and so forth with each of the particular types of rocks. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about some of these examples just so that you can kind of have an idea of the type of rocks that come with this group. Now, the first group I want to talk about is igneous rocks. Igneous rocks have several different examples of rocks. These include granite, obsidian, gabbro, and basalt rock. In the group of sedimentary rock, there are other examples. These include limestone, coal, sandstone, and shale. In the metamorphic rock group, there are two groups. One is gneiss, which is formed from pressurized granite rock to form a new metamorphic rock. And then lastly, there is marble, one of notorious known rocks that are seen in classic pieces of chess or in some homes where there are marble floors. Now, to recap this rock cycle process and the process that are involved, we're going to go ahead and start with talking about the igneous rock. Now, as I mentioned, the cycle can go from igneous rock to create different types of rock structures. Now, to kind of go and streamline it, we want to just talk about how igneous rocks can go and become another rock using pressure and heat. When you add pressure and you add heat to this rock and it's packed down into the earth, that rock then becomes metamorphic rock. Now, metamorphic rock can undergo several processes, from water, wind, in a process called erosion that can break down this rock and move these little small sediment pieces. And then eventually this weathering into sediment pieces can form sedimentary rock. Now, in order to form igneous rock all over again, the sedimentary rock has to be melted all over again, and the cycle repeats itself. Now, as you can see from the arrows on the inside of the structure, the cycle can actually go in all types of directions using various processes that occur within the rock cycle.